Hey guys, how's it going? And today I have a Montana replay for you sent in by Woe9. Now this isn't just any Montana replay, this one ends rather spectacularly, or in the case of Woe and one of the enemy ships, it's kinda disappointing. And it's kind of an interesting ending to a game that you don't see very often. Now I'm opening up with him firing upon this Prince Eugen. He scores a few hits at long range. He's kind of getting his ship into a position to where he's backing up the rest of the team from where they are pushing into the A cap on this map. So got a decent hit on the Eugen, 6,000 damage. Maybe this gearing will present a decent enough target for some shells to hit. Lob some shells towards him since he's the only real target showing. And actually scores a decent hit, scoring another 5,000 damage on the gearing, totaling 11,000 in the first 3 minutes of the game, as he's just getting into position to support and push with his team. A couple torpedoes flying past from the war going on in the B point, but those aren't much of a concern at the moment as none of them will come anywhere near us. Let's see, enemy Montana, Yamato downrange, we're taking some shells. Nothing too major, but it is something to be aware of since you don't want to be broadside to the enemy battleships. Even if you're at range, you can still get citadeled. Lobs some shells back at the Montana, but continues in the direction he was going, slightly angled so that if he does get hit, there's less of a chance of him taking a citadel, and it's easier for him to turn out. Not a very good hit on the Montana, one minor over penetration, giving about 1,000 damage. So nothing major there. But we're now getting towards where the team is actually trying to push, which is the A cap. And wow, that Iowa snuck right in there. Game says that those shells are going to hit the island. They might just barely scrape over that island. Looks like a few hit the island. Oh, a few hit the island, but it wasn't enough to stop them from citadeling the Iowa, scoring a few regular penetrations and sending him straight to the bottom for a kill that I'm sure the Iowa did not expect, especially since he thought he was hidden behind that island. No, that's rather unlucky for him. But looks like the enemy team has decided to ball up on this side, as you could say, and push this end of the map against the whole team of Woes. Now, ooh, that Benson just got flattened with a detonation. That poor guy. But Woe was going to start lining up with them, and that's when it's basically all going to go to shit. Now he lobs some shells at that Montana. Couple decent hits there. He's up to 41,000 damage, but he hasn't really done anything major other than sink the Iowa. Starting to move in. Looks like a lot of torpedoes are getting thrown around. There's a couple destroyers over here. Looks like most of the enemy team's battleships are on this side, which is not great news for the Montana since its armor isn't anything amazing, and it definitely has a broadside that can get penned very, very easily. But we also have most of our team's battleships over here, so if they actually push, they might have a chance of breaking through and causing the enemy team to panic. Frederick der Grobe, sorry, I really shouldn't try to pronounce the German battleship names. Kind of stuck on that island next to us, but he will definitely come into play in a minute. Still taking some shells, looks like most of them are bouncing off the armor. Woe pops a repair just to get a little bit of that health back. Keep his ship healthy, especially since he's starting to get really close to this cap point, and he knows there are destroyers and a lot of enemy ships lurking about. Now that first over there probably could get a decent shot at it, but we're going to ignore that for now since it looks like there might be something in front of us in that smoke cloud, and that Yamato's coming around pretty broadside. Or at least he's presenting a pretty decent target, and he's not moving that fast, which is quite odd. I mean, you'd think he would be angling and trying to get his ship around. Well, gets 5,000 damage. The shells were a little bit far ahead since the Iowa was going so slow. And you can, or not the Iowa, the Yamato was going so slow. But you can see the Yamato secondaries kind of bouncing off Woe right now. doing a little bit of damage. But Woe is definitely within his secondary bubble. Cruiser over there. Gotta watch out for his torpedoes if he decides to launch any. But the Yamato hasn't made any moves. He hasn't angled too much more. And he's paying for that. There's the Citadel. Right through the side. Slightly angled. The Des Moines that is next to Woe is absolutely dousing him with high explosive shells. And it looks like something with some secondaries has moved up next to Woe, whether it's the Frederick or a Yamato. It's yet to be seen. And ooh, that is a bad hit right there. The Yamato gets lucky, overmatches Woe's bow armor, and gets 2 to 3 citadels right through his bow. Of course, Woe being able to trade right back since the Iowa, I keep saying Iowa, the Yamato is still completely broadside. And I know why I keep saying Iowa all my games today. The Iowa class battleship, every player has felt the need to be broadside to the whole enemy team. Sadly, that Yamato scores an 11,000 hit back on Woe, which is not very good for Woe's health bar at the moment, and he's not trading very well against this Yamato currently. He fires back, but doesn't score anything, which is not great news. And looks like the enemy Montanas have actually grown a pair and started to push. And then, of course, the North Carolina is getting right out in front of Woe and charging him down. And there's the enemy Shimakaze. He's not very healthy, but he is definitely a threat. That Montana's not moving very fast either, and he's broadside. What is with this enemy team? Holy shit. Well, he gets lucky and bounces the one shell that hits him. And Woe's kind of backing up, recovering a bit of health. This North Carolina that was pushing is kind of getting pummeled because he did go broadside to those Montanas because he was trying to angle, I think, to the Yamato. And it looks like the Frederick that was next to Woe is also pushing up. So you can see Woe changing his speed. He's starting to go forward. He's going to back up his team here and push with them. And 6,000 hit damage on the Montana. Not bad, but could definitely be better. He is slightly angled, so that shot was a little bit forward, but that can definitely be fixed if Woe gets ahead a little bit, especially since those Montanas will start focusing on the Yamato that is directly in front of them. And there's something about Montanas that they just like to ram things, so that Yamato should definitely watch out for that. Shots in on the Montana. Ooh, good hit on him for about 13,000 damage. It's putting him quite low. He's about maybe a third of his health. Trying to, ooh, there goes the Frederick. And like I said, the Montana just rammed the Yamato. So that leaves Woe very, very alone on his flank. All the friendly ships that were around him have now sank. All that is left on his team is him and a Mogami class cruiser against a destroyer, a cruiser, and 2 battleships. One battleship being in front of him and one destroyer being somewhere around him where he can't see. And he scores a citadel straight through this Montana's side, where he sees slightly angled. Woe is angled directly at him. Now it'd be pretty bad if Woe rammed him right now. It definitely wouldn't be worth it for either of them. It would put Woe basically out of the game, and this Montana would do a lot less damage than was taken from him. But he is still broadside to Woe. He's trying to get around Woe's side. Woe does not give him a chance. Gives him all the main batteries from the front and scores 6 citadels, 1 for every barrel, from his Montana to the enemy, sinking him in a devastating strike, to say the least. Secondaries opening up on the Shimakaze. Hopefully they get it before it gets out of sight. Woe is swinging around the main batteries and turning to make sure the torpedoes can't get him, and there's the torpedoes. Launches some shells downrange and gets it just as the Shimakaze goes out of sight. Looks like he's dodged all the torpedoes. Now it is just him and a Mogami class against a Kurfürst and a Zhao. Now that is not a good matchup, seeing as Woe is not very healthy. That Kurfürst is almost at full health, and whenever it pops up, the Zhao is not that bad either. Now that Mogami is full health, but he's trapped in there. He is stuck behind an island against that first, which is not a good position for him, especially since his torpedoes are only rear firing. And there's that Zhao. He's at about half health, but unlike the Mogami, he does have the repair ability. He also has a lot better torpedoes, and in my opinion, a lot better guns. So basically that Mogami's pinned in there against these two tier 10 ships. But he is fighting back. He just shot at the Zhao and took a little bit of his health bar off. The Zhao is fighting back. He had launched torps at the Mogami, but it looks like the Mogami has dodged all those. And this Mogami puts up a fight before he goes down. He rails on that Zhao. And looks like the Zhao has taken about 5,000 damage. Ooh, there's more. He's taken about 10,000 damage so far just fighting this Mogami because he feels the need to keep going broadside to it. Now it's out of range of Woe, but he lobs some shells anyway in case he can get any help he can to this Mogami, as that Mogami is his only teammate remaining. And he's trying to get his ship over there. He had to turn it around, and that poor Mogami is just trapped there. There is nowhere for him to go. The First would spot him and light him up with secondaries. The Zhao would pummel him if he goes broadside. And of course the First, even if it has the 406s, it's still a very, very nasty ship. And it will absolutely eat a cruiser like that for breakfast. And there's the Zhao again. Looks like he's trying to get back around the island. He did spot for the Grober First, which there it is. Not really any good shots on the Zhao, but it does look like the Mogami, who is surprisingly just reversing, is out trading the Zhao pretty heavily, even though the Zhao is now penetrating him through his bow. And this Zhao is taking a beating, and you know he just popped his repair party, so he won't be getting any health back anytime soon. Woe launches another salvo downrange to try to help, but these ones look like they're going to go over top of that Zhao and aren't going to do anything to it. Zhao is at 4,000 health. Mogami is at 5,000. Now remember that Zhao started at half health and the Mogami was almost full health. 3,000 to 4,000, and sadly the Zhao takes him out. The Zhao has very powerful guns, so it's hard to fault the Mogami for that. He put up a fight before he died, and he did very well, so great job to him. Whoa, sadly RNG does not like you when you're firing at Zhaos, I guess. But the Zhao disappears, and there he is. He just came back within spotting range, and now he's starting to open up, as Woe's guns are almost reloaded, and he's starting to wiggle so that Woe, oh wow, 3 fires right there. He's starting to wiggle so that Woe can't get a really good shot on him. And of course, Woe's shot bounces right off its bow, because the Zhao might as well be a small battle cruiser. Rear turret swing around, lobs him down at the Zhao, does a little bit of damage with 1 shell through the superstructure. Sadly does not sink the Zhao, leaving him at 2,000 health. The Kafir starts opening up. He looks to be behind the island where we can't shoot at him. Zhao's going broadside, meaning he's probably dropping torpedoes. Wolf fires to finish him off, sinks him with 2 overpens, and starts to turn in as the Zhao probably has launched torpedoes. 199,000 damage so far. But as you can see, he is ahead on points, and he has 2 cap zones, but he is the last ship against a almost full health first, and he only has about 40,000 health. And there's the first. The first secondaries are opening up. Woe can't win in a brawl. He's not gonna win if he kites this. I mean, he might if he gets lucky, but it's really rare if he's gonna get away from this first, as both ships are about the same speed, with the Montana maybe being slightly faster. But he definitely can't win in a brawl, and he's not going to win in a lol pen competition, because the First just has monster guns. And you can even see that the team is saying the counter can't be counted down. He's gonna kill you if you try to beat him in a gun duel. You're gonna have to ram you. And even the enemy team says he's gonna ram you. Woe fires some into the side, scoring a high caliber as the K1st starts bouncing, but the K1st is not a ship that turns very well compared to the Montana, which can turn fairly quickly. And Woe clips him right on the end for a ram that ends the game. And that, if you look at the score, Woe's team is ahead on points and has sunk all the enemy ships. But the enemy team has also sunk all of Woe's team's ships. Now you would think at this point it would come down to who has more points, who's done the most in the battle, I guess, since Woe's team had the most points and had the most caps. They technically had control of the map. But the real funny part about that is that it ended in a draw. And this, when Woe messaged me about this battle, he just sounded so disappointed. He sounded like he felt like he let his team down. He sounded disappointed that it came out in a draw, even though his team worked really hard and he did so much to try to win this game. And he kind of thought it was pretty cool, well, pretty weird and cool at the same time, that it ended in a draw despite his team having more points. Whether you guys think this is a good mechanic or not, it would be something to bring up with Wargaming, as that's not really my jurisdiction. I can't really say because draws aren't really that common anymore. But if we want to get into it, 277,000 damage is a monster game for a Montana, and Woe just absolutely trashed this enemy team. Kraken Award, devastating strike on that Montana, high caliber Confederate. He definitely put in his effort into this battle. Even though it ended in a draw, Woe tried his hardest and tried to get a victory for his team, because, I mean, he wasn't going to outduel that Grover K1st. He really couldn't run away with his positioning, and he wasn't going to be able to beat it in a brawl or a gun duel. So I think a draw was probably their best outcome. Going into the second of the end screen shows Woe on top with 1800 base experience, with the Mogami that put up a real good fight at the Bravo point in second place with 1300. Enemy team did fairly well themselves with the Zhao and the K1st that were fighting at the end. On top, the Yamato that we were penning in the early parts of the battle, finishing third on their team. So good job to all the top players on both teams, as they tried really hard to win this for their own team. And it kind of sucks that it came out in a draw for them, just because a draw basically counts as a loss in your earnings. And finally, I wanted to bring up the damage screen, because out of the 277,000 damage, 210 of that was from the main battery, mostly to other battleships. All of it was from armor piercing. Woe never loaded high explosive in his Montana. 1,000 from secondary. I don't believe Woe has this built anywhere near for secondary batteries. I think he has it built for anti-aircraft like my Montana is. Actually, I think I stole the build from him. Other than that, he did 65,000 damage in ramming alone. That would be at the end against that K1st when he rammed him to cause it to be a draw. So fairly good battle. I thought it was really cool that it ended in a draw. And honestly, I thought it was really epic when the battleships got really close, started brawling, and started to just roll the citadels into each other. And if you guys enjoyed it, drop a like, let me know. What do you think about the draw mechanics in the game? Do you think the team with the higher amount of points should have won this? Do you think that since all the ships were sunk on both teams, neither team won because both teams completed the objective technically? What do you guys think? Let me know. Talk to you guys later. Good luck out there, and have a great day.